Cryptids are extremely elusive creatures, and when someone manages to get clear footage of one, I get excited. Clifford Lebrec claimed he'd been watching a creature for about 2.5 months on the outskirts of Des Moines, Iowa back in 1977, and over the years, there was only more and more sightings. So one night, Lebrec decided to fire at the creature. Allegedly, it was about 25 feet away from where he was parked in his pickup truck, and two creatures walked up from behind a hedge. One stopped, but the other went to a woodpile, bent down, and started to eat it with its back towards Lebrec. So he stayed in the car, waited for it to turn around, but it just kept on gnawing at the wood. So finally he decided to fire at it from behind, and when the animals turned and saw him, he got crazy buck fever and just couldn't do it. So as it came towards him, he couldn't really get the window rolled up fast enough. It was apparently really close, and Lebrec was obviously petrified with fear as the creature advanced. Allegedly, it loomed over the car and it was about 8 feet tall. It reached through the window, grabbed Lebrec, and shook the daylights out of him. Yeah, it was a very strong creature. He could feel its face about 6 inches away, and to quote him, he was in a state of tremendous fear. He could feel his whole body shaking. He felt a sensation of being twisted around and pushed onto the floor. The creature was angry, obviously, because you tried to fire at it, and then our witness passed out. When they regained consciousness, it was gone. Lebrec, who owned a truck brokerage firm, is also president of Bigfoot Research Incorporated. He's been researching Bigfoot reports for about 49 years, and the thing that attacked him was terrifying and enormous. He said that after the attack, his memory was kind of vague because of his terror, since the thing was shaking him around, so he decided to visit a hypnotherapist, Eric Elster of Knoxville, Iowa, who was the expert in our situation. Elster stated that he hypnotized Lebrec so that he would go back to the time of the attack, and Lebrec was able to design and construct a life-size model of the creature based on the details that came to him under hypnosis, as well as what he obviously consciously remembers. So he made a model of fiberglass that was covered in artificial hair that allegedly represented a typical young adult male. The model stands about 7 foot 6 inches, and if it were a real creature, would weigh like 600 to 1,000 pounds. And its feet, of course, are what gives the creature its name. They're about 18 inches long, 9 inches wide, and they leave a flat impression in the ground, like 2 inches deep. Allegedly, Bigfoot's fur is dark brown in color and it has a very foul smell. So on this model, the shoulders measure about 4 feet across, the arms, which are about 47 inches long, reach down to almost the creature's knees, its biceps, 27 inches around this fun area, and the massive neck has a circumference of 40 inches. According to our witness, Bigfoot can make a wide variety of sounds. It can mimic other animals, but its typical voice is a low guttural growl, but sometimes it can sound like a hooting owl or even a barking dog. Lebrec estimates that there may be as many as 5,000 Bigfoot creatures in the United States and more in Canada. And Lebrec believes that no remains are ever found of Bigfoots that have passed because they either bury or hide their dead. And during Lebrec's search for our elusive creature, he has investigated numerous reports of sightings. Allegedly, he searched for 15 years before finally meeting Bigfoot face to face. So this creature obviously exists, and it's thriving at great numbers and increasing all the time. Lebrec thinks that the Bigfoot is a very intelligent creature and tries very hard to avoid contact with humans. It's almost as if the beast has some form of primitive telepathy or instinct that warns it when a man is nearby. But despite the attack, Lebrec is still not afraid. He's like, I harvested what I sowed. It's like picking a fight and getting the heck knocked out of you. In November of 2009, Greg Warner and his team reported on and supplied photographs of a giant snake event near the jungle city of Iquitos in Peru. The photographs showed a trail at least 5 meters wide, and they also provided video evidence to support their photos and eyewitness accounts. So this creature is believed to be a yakumama, which is an enormous serpent believed to be the mother of all aquatic animals. According to legends, this creature would suck up any living thing that passed within 100 steps of it. So to protect themselves, local folks would blow on a conch horn before entering any body of water, believing that the creature would reveal itself if it was present. So the video we have for you today is in Spanish, but I managed to find a translation of what happens so we can dissect it. So in the human settlement 24 de Mayo, the dwellers got into a panic when they saw that on the enormous swamp located at the back part of the settlement, there was a huge silhouette of dragged grass and mud that was clearly visible, and they attributed the event to the creature. Although some folks were like, no, it's a gigantic boa and it just guards a small pond. Well, one eyewitness claimed it started to move like this, circulate until it found a way out over there. And you cannot say there is a channel over there. As you can see, it was plain. And this is the trail that it made. Look, it looked like it wanted to get out that way, but turned over there. It took all this way, it took all this. If you keep walking that way, you can see it remained like this. But before, it was not like that. Look, this is clearly further evidence that the black Yakboa, Yakumama, Sakamama, and Minhokao are one and the same in terms of cryptid classification. All regular description and photographic evidence points to this conclusion, but that doesn't make it any less scary for those of us who are terrified of snakes. An interesting video has emerged from Mexico that shows what appears to be a small bipedal humanoid scurrying across a road. So this video was reportedly captured in January of 2024 by a security camera at a farm in the city of Namore and subsequently offered online back in May. A dark form exited from a wooded area on the side of the road, then quickly made its way across the dirt path, and then it vanished back into the brush. Simpson style. Many believe it to be sightings of duende, a humanoid figure of folklore that is comparable to goblins, dwarves, gnomes, or even leprechauns. So what do you think it is? Fun fact, in Spanish, duende originated as a contraction of the phrase dueña de casa, effectively master of the house. Or it could also be derived from some similar mythical being of the Visigoth or Swabian culture, given its similar looks with the tomte of the Swedish language, which is depicted as a mischievous spirit inhabiting a dwelling. Turns out, Spanish folklore is rich in tales and legends about various types of duendes. Anjanas, buscosos, dianos, enanos, elfos, hadas, gnomos, nubaros, and many others. On April 2nd of 2024, TikTok influencer Nightmare Fuel uploaded a strange 1-minute video they had received from an unnamed fan. And in the comments they wrote, a camera was set up facing the river in Namore after many people said they saw spirits in the river. And this is a river where many people have lost their lives over time. And the camera captured this, an unbelievable sight. And we have it for you. So some folks believe that they were referring to Lake Namore on Lolobau Island in Papua New Guinea. No date is given, though it's thought to have been fairly recent, and it's kind of unclear what exactly the creatures in the lake are, but they do appear to have large eyes that upon surfacing reflect the light. They swim about, submerge, emerge, and occasionally look at the camera. The activity seems fairly harmless, all things considered. YouTuber Maximum Fear featured the footage on his channel in a video titled Newest Disturbing Creatures Caught on Trail Cam 2024 and wrote, at some point we can even see the eyes on the creatures reflected. They just slowly swim around with their long straggly hair covering most of their face and head, and their pale white skin is slightly seen beneath. So a lot of folks are like, what could this be? Because once again, the river has a dark past, and folks think they might be paranormal manifestations of the lives lost, or they could actually be the creatures that are responsible for a lot of the disappearances and deaths. Maybe the land is cursed, maybe these are some sort of weird evil entity. No thanks. And finally for today, we have a video from August 2014 that was taken near Port Renfrew in British Columbia, Canada, and according to the witness transcript, it's something to see. Wendy and her husband were driving back from Port Renfrew, and there were a lot of creeks and streams flowing beside the road where they were driving, and Wendy suggested going for a little hike beside one of those streams. And while the duo were doing so, she's like, let's go further into the forest. She was feeling adventurous. So about 200 feet in, they spotted something ahead of them. And at first they were like, maybe it's a bear. But then they're like, no, it's a little more upright, kind of interesting looking, has a bit of a cone type head. So you watch the video, you decide. Allegedly there was kind of a musty smell in the air that wasn't strong, and the duo are adamant that this creature was not a bear. Well, that's all for today, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident ookie spooky girly. See ya!